All right, we are back with another pick'em video. Going to be going over my favorite plays for the NBA today. A little bit later in the day, actually, one of these games has already started. We're not going to be talking about that. That's the Nets versus the Knicks, Battle of New York down there. We're going to be focused on the later slate of games, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock games, so you should have plenty of time to get these plays in. But if you're new around here, definitely go ahead and subscribe. We rip out daily content like this each and every day. Leave the video a like, because if this video gets 150 likes, I'll be giving away a free month of the Discord to a random commenter on this video as well. So you got to comment something to enter that. I appreciate everyone that does that. It is the weekend. It is March Madness. I totally understand if the views are down a little bit, but I think we can get there. I think we had like 130 likes on the last video. So before we get into things, definitely want to say also, I go over my video picks each and every day. I like to show them on the screen, what happened if we had a bad day. Obviously, celebrate when we have a good day. And we've been on an absolute tear. This is going to happen. We'll just start back up again at some point. And yesterday was a bad day. So real quick, Lou Dort, again, we just need him to hit a three. I've seen a lot of Thunder games, and he ended up shooting 2 threes. I thought he might get 3. But yeah, 2 threes, didn't make them, which is unfortunate there. I think he had like a layup attempt too and didn't get that either. But 0 for 3 in the first quarter. Okay, Reed. He'd been hitting that very consistently. Toronto's defense is horrible too. So unfortunate one there. That was the only line that didn't get bumped or taken off. All these other lines did get bumped. D'Lo crept over for us. Zion, interesting one there. Again, if you look at this line, you're like, oh, I didn't even come close. He really wasn't doing much at the beginning of this game. Then he really turned it on and subbed out with about 3.5 minutes left in the third quarter. And the Pelicans were in control. Zion actually didn't end up coming in for the game again. So again, unfortunate there. The blowout just does kind of suck there. But another line that did eventually get bumped. And then Curry, I didn't even actually follow this game. Didn't even look back on it. Was kind of just disappointed didn't hit. Because at halftime, he had like 25 points and assists. And then the Warriors seemed to just crumble there. Pretty sure the Pacers took the win. Again, didn't really look too much into it. But don't know how Curry didn't hit there. But again, another one that did get bumped before the game started. So that's what we do here. We attack value. If they don't hit, sometimes the ball doesn't go our way, or doesn't go our way, the game, whatever it might be. And that's fine. We'll bounce back for sure. I'm not worried about it at all. But let's jump into the board right now. Again, we're a little bit later look, so we're getting fantasy scores and things like that. But the first guy I want to talk about, again, injuries are happening. This is end of March. This is a weird time in the NBA. Some teams don't care what's going on. They're just looking forward to the lottery and the draft. Other teams are battling for playoff position, and then other teams are focused on the postseason. Some teams like, I guess, the Celtics are kind of have a huge lead right now. They're going to be resting stars and things like that for the next few games. But one of these teams is going to be the Jazz. Going to go be to Taylor Hendricks here. You might not even know who he is, but definitely getting a lot more run recently. He's a rookie on the Jazz, kind of like Keontae George. And again, no Lauri Markkanen again today. He's kind of been in and out of the lineup. And John Collins, I think, is going to sit. He's a game time decision right now, but potentially both of those guys out. And Taylor Hendricks is projected to get like 29 minutes or something today. So if he gets up into that 30 threshold, he should have plenty of opportunity to get this line. And I might not trust him on like points, on points and rebounds or things like that. But I do trust him in this blocks and steals line. And that's what we're going to go to. Blocks and steals over 1.5. So quickly, let's go over to his outlier page. This is a partner of the channel. You can actually get a free week trial if you want to check this tool out. Highly recommend it. It'll level you up in terms of sports betting. Shows you stats, hit rates, matchups, all these different types of things, minutes, how players play without certain players, which we're going to look at. But yeah, free week trial. I can't really beat that. If you don't like it, you can go ahead and cancel it. But if you do, obviously, it's a nice little benefit to get that free week. So just hit that link in the description. Just lets them know that I sent you there. But we got Taylor Hendricks, again, been playing a lot more. But you can see, even with the minutes down, he's been able to hit this line. And I'm talking like he's played 2 minutes, 3 minutes in some of these games. He's going out and getting a block and a steal. So in a game that he could potentially get 29 minutes, which is what the projection is, I really like his odds here. So in terms of the whole year, yes, 43% hit rate is not the best. But again, you got to take in mind some of these games he's playing 2 minutes, 3 minutes, and still going out and getting a block and steal. So I love to see that. Let's go ahead and look at the games that he's getting, the more minutes. Obviously, the more minutes, the better. If he gets 26 minutes, looks like this is an 86% hit rate. And again, why is he getting 26 minutes in those games? Well, it's because they got injuries, and it's the end of the year, and they want to run their rookies because they're not looking towards the playoffs. We got no Lauri Markkanen today. 6 of 10 games without Lauri Markkanen. And then if John Collins goes ahead and sits, this would be 2 of 3 games. So I do love to see that. Again, just hit rates going up as these minutes increase. And again, the main thing here is he should be getting a lot of run. When those minutes go up to, let's say, 21 minutes even, it's a 62% hit rate. 25 minutes, 26 minutes, 60 or 86% hit rate. So as you can see, he gets a lot more opportunity to get these blocks and steals, and he's got a great matchup here against Houston, who give up a lot of blocks in general and steals. So no head-to-head matchup to look at. To centers or whatever, power forward specifically, they actually give up a ton. He's definitely going to slot into that power forward spot too. If John Collins plays, John Collins will be that starting center. If he doesn't play, Walker Kessler will be that starting center. So Taylor Hendricks is definitely, he's like a 6'9" build moving to that power forward spot. And Houston does give up a ton of blocks and steals to that power forward position. So I'm loving this one. The odds are loving it too. If you're new around here, again, we like to go to hit rates, matchups, think about it logically, think about injuries. But we're also following the odds here. The odds makers know what they're doing. The books know what they're doing. They're not billion-dollar companies for no reason. And we see Taylor Hendricks here. A couple unders, fantasy score, points, rebounds, assists. Again, I don't necessarily trust his scoring, trust his rebounding or anything like that. But again, blocks and steals I do. They're giving it a 52.8% chance to go over. Why is that? It's because these other sports books that have this lineup are favored to go over. They're going to pay you less if you choose to go over, and they're going to pay you more if you go under because they think it's probably going to go over here. So we're taking advantage of PrizePicks fixed payout system. If we go over on their line, they're not going to pay us any different than going under on the line. So definitely getting some good market value here. This is DG Fantasy. You can get 25% off your first month if you want to check them out. Again, link in the description just lets them know that I sent you there. And if you do that, DM me in the Discord, say, hey, I used your code for DG Fantasy. I wanted to try it out. It's an awesome tool anyway, but you're also going to get a free month of the Discord. So just DM me, say, hey, use your code. I'll get you in the free month of the Discord. So everything looking good so far. The last thing we like to look over here is the projection model. This is RotoWire. They've been in here, been in the industry for a long time. They know what they're talking about specifically for DFS. Before DFS was even cool with all these pick'em sites. So they've been in here for a while. We don't always agree, but when we do, it's a recipe for a great pick. And they got blocks and steals right here at 1.92 is their projection, which is over that 1.5 line, closer to 2. So way closer to 2 than 1. So I'm liking this one. This is probably one of my favorite picks of the day, and everything pointing in the right direction here for Taylor Hendricks. All right, so the next guy I want to talk about is going to be Bruce Brown here. Before we even get into the pick, I want to show you Toronto's skeleton crew that's going on. Bruce Brown slotted to start at the point guard spot. That's what he's been doing. Gary Trent looks like he's probably going to play. But the biggest news here is no Emmanuel Quickly. He was a game-time decision, but he's missed the past few games. No Jakob Poeltl still, no RJ Barrett, and no Scotty Barnes. So again, skeleton crew here for Toronto. And they're going up against the Wizards, who are kind of just a sloppy, bad team in general all year. They've got a horrible roster. Kyle Kuzma is their best player. He can play with, probably very freely here. I wanted to go on an over for Kyle Kuzma. His lines are just boosted up too high. So I ended up focusing on the Toronto side of things. And, 231.5, that's not because these teams are very good offensively, just because they play with a lot of pace. There should be a lot of opportunity for possessions. And with more possessions, yes, comes more scoring, but also opportunities for turnovers. So that's what I'm going to be going with for Bruce Brown here, slotting in again to that point guard spot. I'm going to go to his 1.5 turnovers. No, it's not a sexy line. Neither of these lines are really sexy, but there's a lot of value on this line, and it makes a lot of sense for me today. So 1.5 turnovers for Bruce Brown. I got it pulled up on Outlier so we can see the stats here. It is kind of showing us, hey, Emmanuel Quickly's out. Bruce Brown will probably get a nice boost in usage here, and that's exactly what has been happening. We see Bruce for the entire year, 41% hit rate on this. You got to remember that he's coming over from Indiana, so he's been playing for Toronto for a few weeks now. So to get the games for Toronto, for him playing with Toronto, the only guy that's kind of been very consistently in the lineup here is Grady Dick. So we got to see games with Grady Dick. So this is games pretty much on the Toronto Raptors is what I'm getting at here. 42% hit rate. So again, nothing too crazy. A whole lot of red, especially in the middle here. But we can see the minutes has just not been there. And then, obviously we see a huge boost in here. And what's that, correlate with? It's the minutes here have been pretty consistent with all these injuries. So, with Grady Dick, so on the Toronto Raptors here, we want to see games that he hasn't been playing with Emmanuel Quickly. That's kind of the main thing here. And right off the bat, it gets a whole lot better. So 5 of 6 games without Quickly here, pretty much as that starting point guard. He's gotten, at least 2 turnovers in 5 of those 6 games. Not really sure what happened here in Atlanta. But they're also, again, playing this Washington team. It should be a high-paced game, a lot of possessions. The Wizards force a lot of turnovers, not because they're a good defensive team, but again, just because they play fast and they kind of play sloppy. So hopefully a lot of turnovers in this one. Bruce Brown just needs 2 of them, and everything looking good when you take into account, no Emmanuel Quickly, no Scotty Barnes, no RJ, all these different types of guys. He should just have a decent usage boost here. So hit rate's looking great. I love the matchup, and the odds are absolutely loving this one. Turnovers right here for Bruce Brown, 1.5. They're giving it a 54.16% chance to hit. Love to see that. DraftKings has this at minus 135, minus 140 almost across the board here. So absolutely awesome. A great value here on PrizePicks. you don't see lines that are on Prize Picks that are past, minus 140. And this is the power of DG Fantasy. It lets you see these lines. And again, it really makes for a great play when everything else makes sense alongside that. So Bruce Brown right here over turnovers. I do want to point out on the RotoWire projection model, they have them slightly under. They're pretty much even here. My 1.41. So again, they're kind of at that 1.5 line. But we don't always agree. And again, it's not like they're projecting, 0.5 or something like that. So nothing too crazy there. But again, don't want to hide anything from you guys. So Bruce Brown, 1.5 turnovers. Again, not the sexiest line, but I think everything kind of lining up for this to him getting at least 2 turnovers here. And then before we jump into the next few picks, I do want to quickly shout out the Discord community. This is something I started a few months ago. It's, yes, you get access to all my picks. This is where you can tail all my slips. That is a huge perk of this. But almost a bigger aspect of this, a lot of people try to sell their picks on Instagram, on YouTube. They literally just read from a website that they pay for and say, oh, here's my picks. And there's no community part of it. So I kind of like the Discord because there is a community part of it. I'm always talking in here. People are literally always talking in here. As you can see, 54 new messages. It's now 132 right now. Since 120, there's 54 new messages. So we got esports games going on. Obviously, people are talking March Madness. People are always talking sports in here. So if you're kind of like-minded, I don't have a ton of people in my life that, or I guess my friends don't love sports as much as I do. So I love to come in here, talk sports, talk props, top plays. Yes, you're going to get access to all my slips. You're going to get access to our seasoned chef slips, people that have been in here for a while and kind of have, proven that they're pretty solid at this. And then also you can share your own slips. Obviously some people are new. You're not going to get that, seasoned chef's tag right off the bat. But if you've been killing it, I'll go ahead and throw you in there. So have a lot of fun in here. Again, we definitely win more than we lose. At the end of the month, we're going to be up. Almost guaranteed. We have been each and every month that we started this. We're not going to win every day, very upfront and transparent about that, but that's just going to happen. No one's going to win every day, but we kill it more than we don't. So you can get in here for $20 a month. Highly recommend it. But if you don't want to pay, I totally understand that. It's really not that much money when you think of it. I keep, comparing it to pretty much a bag of popcorn and at the movie theater is like 13, 14 bucks. So that's it right there. Or like a sandwich in a bag of chips is about 20 bucks nowadays. So it's really not that much money if you think about it as a month of entertainment, but you can get in here for free. I've got some partners and some links. They're all in the description of this video, but you can also see them right here. PrizePicks, Underdog, Chalkboard, Sleeper, and Dabble. They're all other DFS platforms. So if you're just on PrizePicks, I totally get that. I highly recommend you branching out because, people are always dropping different discounts. I think actually Underdog has a discount right now. If I can pull that up. Sometimes it takes a little bit to load. But Underdog always is throwing discounts at us. Literally the past week, we've had a discount like every single day. Sorry, it's right here. 18.5 per pala. So take advantage of that discount. They all do this, especially when a lot of things are going on. Baseball is starting. March Madness is happening. PrizePicks is doing discounts all the time. Sleeper had a protected play yesterday, $20 protected play. If you lost, it just went right back into your account. Chalkboard has alternate lines. Underdog has live lines. Dabble, you can get 1,000x onto plays. They just added 12 man slips that you can do. You can literally turn like $5 into $5,000. 1,000x is ridiculous. Dabble also has softer lines. So they all have their different perks. I could talk about them for a long time, but don't want to waste too much of your time. But again, totally branch out. Take advantage of these 100% deposit matches they give you. That's pretty much free money if you think about it at the end of the day. But again, they all have their perks. They're all a little bit different. And it's good to be able to take advantage of all the promos, all the discounts that each of them are taking throughout the week. So PrizePicks, Underdog, Chalkboard, Sleeper, Dabble, they're my favorites. They're my favorite ones to play. And then Daily Grind Fantasy will also get you a free month of the Discord as well. That is right here. So they compound too. If you want to go ahead and use 2 codes, that'll give you 2 months free. If you want to use 3 codes, 3 months free. If you want to use all 6 codes, that'd be 6 months free. So that's another way to get in here. But yeah, we have a lot of fun in here. Join a fun community. I love the community aspect of it. And I think you'll have a lot of fun if you like this stuff. So that's the Discord. Think about it. And let's get back into the picks here, though. All right, so the next guy I want to talk about is going to be Bogdanovic for the Atlanta Hawks, another team that's dealing with a lot of injuries. That is our main focus at this point of the year, injuries and matchups. And this is a great, checking both boxes right now. So just quickly going over to this page, we'll see that Charlotte and Atlanta, again, both extremely injured. For the Atlanta side specifically, we got no Trae Young still. We got no Jalen Johnson. We got no Onyeka Okongwu. We got no Saddiq Bey. A ton of injuries here. And then you got to think, okay, who's getting the usage rate? Who's getting a little bit of a boost here? DeJounte Murray's already got a lot of usage rate. Once Trae Young went down, he's that main guy. So the bigger guys, the more recent injuries are Saddiq Bey or Jalen Johnson. And who's getting the boost from that? That's going to be Bogdanovic. That's going to be DeAndre Hunter. That's going to be Clint Capella. So that's where I'm focusing on these three guys. I think they all have value, but Bogdanovic has the most value that I'm seeing right now. And then you look at the matchup side of things. A nice, easy matchup against Charlotte. They're actually favored by 8 points. So even with all these injuries, Charlotte is the worst team. I'm sure 90% of you guys don't even know who Vasilija Micic even is. Trey Mann, all these different guys. Brandon Miller, a nice rookie here, getting a lot of runs. So hopefully it stays close. And if it does blow out, it seems to be that Atlanta side. So at least we're getting, the advantage of one of our guys, probably being a big part of that. So again, I think there's value in all three of these guys. But we're focused on injuries this time of year. We're focused on matchups. So Bogdanovic is where I landed. We can see his over 31.0 fantasy score. Not the best when you look at hit rate, but hit rate isn't like the end all do all here. They got an easy matchup against Charlotte. This isn't, the Clippers. This isn't Phoenix. And again, there's dealing with a ton of injuries. So last 10 games here, 4 last 10. Okay, not the best hit rate in the world. But let's go ahead and take Jalen Johnson out of the equation. One of their biggest usage rate players. Oh, in the last 10 games now, we can see 80% hit rate. In the 2 games he missed, he was, relatively close. And that was against Memphis. And again, tougher kind of defense in terms of giving up points, rebounds, and assists in Phoenix. See the minutes are all up. I didn't show the minutes before this, but without Jalen Johnson, he's getting like 25, 26 minutes. Now he's getting 34.1. So we love to see that. So if we dig a little bit deeper here, this hit rate is looking really good. And again, the matchup against the Hornets, one of the easier ones to go with. So loving Bogdanovic here. The odds are loving this one as well. I've been talking about this for the past few weeks. Fantasy scores on PrizePicks are typically boosted up a little bit too high. So DG Fantasy is very much recommending the under on a lot of fantasy scores. But when you see one that's favoring the over here, it's something to look into. So love to see that they're favoring the over here. Other sports books, or I guess DFS platforms or sports books, whatever they call these. DraftKings has this at 32, full point higher than where PrizePicks is. 32.2 across the board on these other sports books. So PrizePicks does seem to be a little bit too low, even though they generally put their fantasy score lines a little bit too high. So the market value is very good on this one as well. And then our last data point we go to is that projection model, and they're loving this one, 31.0. They're projecting 35.85. So another one where everything kind of pointing in the right direction here. And if you don't like Bogdanovic, I think go to DeAndre Hunter. And I'll be totally honest, I actually played Clint Capella in another line. Not his fantasy score, but I think a double-double prop or something like that. So I think those guys get the boost. That's my thought process. Kind of went a little bit too deeper into that one. If that took a little long, I'm sorry. But again, that's kind of my thought process, especially this time of year in the NBA. So Bogdanovic over 31.0 is going to be our third play. And then our fourth and final play is going to be Domantas Sabonis. I think this guy's kind of the talk of the town today, and for good reason. He's been absolutely consistently killing it. And I'm going to go to his 24.5 first half fantasy score. I want to point out the fact that I actually did go to his 13.5 rebounds. It's boosted up to 14.0, but I think you could totally still go to his rebounds. I know some people don't like my first half plays or my first quarter plays. I tend to love them. I play a lot more of them than just the video picks that you see, and they've been, pretty good to me. So Sabonis 24.5 first half fantasy score. Again, if you hate first half scores, or maybe you don't even have access to them, go to his 14.0 rebounds for the full game. I think that's a really good line as well. But I have his line popped up right here, first half fantasy score. This is on Outlier. We see the head-to-head. I have this popped up right away because a lot of people know Orlando is a very solid defense. This is a plus 2.5 point spread in favor of Orlando winning this game. So it should be a nice close game. And both of these teams are playing for something. So Orlando potentially going for that third seed in the East, which is kind of crazy. And then the King side of things, they want to get out of that play-in tournament, which is definitely feasible. So both teams are playing for something. Sabonis has been absolutely great. I think he should get a ton of run. And we did see these guys face each other back on January 3rd. And Sabonis had a pretty solid first half. I think this game ended up going to like overtime, maybe double overtime, but had a really good first half. 36 fantasy score in that first half against them, which is really good to see. So 2023 as a whole, 64% hit rate. So he has been killing this. If you want to look at the last 10 games, there's really no way to make this look bad. 80% of his last 10 games. Didn't get there against Washington. That was a very weird game. They did a lot of their damage in the second half there. But yeah, Sabonis has been killing it. He's been very consistent. And again, both these teams are playing for something. It's almost like a mini playoff series, or not series, but playoff game for these two teams. So I love Sabonis here. I do want to quickly show you the rebound stat. I guess I can't show you the first half odds just because they don't have first half fantasy odds, but I can show you on the projection model that they love Sabonis today. This is his fantasy score, 48.0. They're projecting 50.68. So maybe if you want to just go to his fantasy score for the full game, that is something you could do as well. But I also want to show rebounds, 14.0. everything's kind of on the over here. It looks like sportsbooks are liking the over 14.0 still here. So definitely could go to rebounds if you don't like this first half fantasy score line. And we see 15.69 is their projection on the rebounds, and he's been killing the rebounds against really anyone. So Sabonis definitely going to ride his wave. He should be, talked about a little bit more in the NBA. I think he's one of the more underrated players in the league, especially with like Jokic and Joel, kind of the top two centers. But there's no Joel this season for most of it. So Sabonis should get a lot more love than he does. Was he even an All-Star this year? Now I'm thinking about it. That's kind of crazy if he wasn't. He might not have been, which is insane. Most triple doubles in the league. He can do it in a lot of different ways. And I just like Sabonis as a player, and I think he's going to continue to kill it. So 24.5 first half fantasy score. That's where I'm going. If you hate first half plays, or if you don't even have access to it, go to his 14.0 rebounds. I think that's another way to do it. So that's going to do it for today. Really, really liking these picks. I think a lot of different data points. Took me a long time to find these, but I'm really liking them. Taylor Hendricks, 1.5 blocks and steals. Not the sexiest line, but I think he should be able to get there against Houston, especially if John Collins sits. He's still going to be that power forward spot. Bruce Brown over 1.5 turnovers. No Emmanuel Quickly, no Scotty Barnes. All these different guys are still out. Tons of usage rate against the sloppy team in Washington, who does force a lot of turnovers. Bogdanovic, we kind of just talked about against Charlotte. Love the matchup. We're focused on matchup. We're focused on injuries this time of year, and those are both looking really good. And then Sabonis, I kind of just hyped him up. Two different ways to attack this: 24.5 fantasy score first half, and then 14.0 rebounds if you want to go over that as well. But yeah, it's going to do it for this video. Again, try to get this video to 150 likes. I'll be giving away a free month of the Discord to a random commenter down below. So you got to comment to enter that as well. And then really quickly, the Discord, if you are interested in the community, community aspect of this is my favorite thing. You're going to get access to all my slips. Anything I post on PrizePicks, Sleeper, Underdog, Chalkboard, or my correlated slips are all posted here, and you get, a little notification if you want to put those on. And you can go ahead and decide if you want to tail exactly, or you can just pick and choose your favorite lines for that. That's a huge perk of the Discord itself. But you also just get access to a lot of other like-minded people that like sports. Doesn't matter if it's NBA, doesn't matter if it's esports. We're always talking about, MLB's right around the corner, NFL when it's in season, NHL, all different types of things. Soccer we're big on too as well. So people are always talking different things. It's a very nice community in here. And again, maybe there's not a whole lot of friends or something that are big sports fans as much as you are. This is a great way to, get access to a lot of people that are. And yes, we kill it. End of month, we are always up ever since we started this Discord. So we win more than we lose on top of the community aspect. And again, it's $20 a month. That's not too much money in the grand scheme of things when you think about it as $20 of entertainment for the entire month. But you can also get in here for free using any of my affiliate links of my codes down below. They're in the description of this video, or they're right here: PrizePicks, Underdog, Chalkboard, Sleeper, Dabble. They're always throwing promotions, discounts, and everything like that. You're going to get deposit matches. And it's a good way to support the channel, but also, I give back to you by giving you guys a free month. So check any of those out. Try to get this video to 150 likes. Subscribe if you are new. We're on the road to 10,000 subscribers, which is absolutely nuts. And I can't thank you guys enough. So excited about these picks. Hopefully a good day for us. And, keep watching March Madness. There's tons of sports going on. It's a great time of year for sports fans. So I'll see you guys in the next one, or if you're in the Discord, I'll see you in there. Peace out.